Breaking news, we're getting information that this massive Earth-ending gay wave has affected everyone, except for the people in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. I wonder why that happened. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Gronowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely troubling and mind-boggling news breaking right now that we're going to be talking about in this particular broadcast, specifically with just how hyperbolic, sensationalistic, and nonsensical politics is getting today, all in the face of a massive mental and physical health crisis. Lots of things to talk about. Also, an exclusive report from this past weekend. Lots of crazy domestic news here, and we're going to get into that, plus a lot more. But before we do, the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is by a silent meme majority. If they have a YouTube account, we'll make sure to link it down below, but if they don't, you could find them on silent meme majority. This is the first time I ever heard of this person. I am definitely going to be following them, since this video that they made is absolutely hilarious. Oh no, they have another one of Matthew McConaughey. Oh no. We can't show you that one. We can show you this one. And I think this person's work is more important than ever, since, of course, we need a lot of comedy. We need a lot of humor to deal with the onslaught of insanity brought to us by the current ruling establishment. This, as of course, the Biden administration is implementing their Build Back Better Great Reset at the cost of you, your life, your comforts, your rights, your privacies, your financial future, all being taken away from you for this larger World Economic Forum UN 2030 vision that is being implemented right now, which of course is an extremely unpopular vision, extremely unpopular agenda that is being forced down everyone's throats, especially if they live here in the United States. The policies that this administration has been putting forward have been wreaking havoc at the fabric of life here in the United States, and this is why people aren't happy with it. Biden's approval ratings have hit a record low. They were already dismal. This, as we're also finding out that more of the White House press team has quit, as of course marketing the deliberate destruction of the current financial system and elimination of human rights isn't that popular, no matter how much PR, branding, and marketing you invest into it. Again, 2/3 of Biden's media team has left. A lot of them are complaining about low morale, long hours, long pay, as essentially the propaganda wing of the Great Reset is finding it more difficult to do their job, and to, of course, try to spin the devastation that they are causing onto everyone as some kind of greater transition for the better good. What did the Biden administration do in response to this? Well, they got their handy lackeys and went to someone that wouldn't ask the president any hard, legitimate questions, essentially going to their media fluffer, the man who will say anything if you pay him enough to say it, Jimmy Kimmel himself. As of course, this administration was toting around this media appearance as if it was going to be some kind of amazing spectacle, and it was, but not in the way that they thought, as of course many people were left once again kind of dumbfounded how a man who can't string along sentences together could be running an entire country. And of course, he can't. The special interests, the lobbyists, the multinational corporations, the big bankers are, and he is just simply an ever so front man that is meant to give you the illusion of control, when in reality he's put in there in his old age in order to try to blame the cognitive decline as an excuse for the deliberate policies that ruin your life, according to my own personal opinion. And as Biden made his dribbling national TV appearance talking about biracial couples on television for some reason, the effects of his policies are absolutely undeniable. As of course, we just got the new jobless numbers that of course rose by 27,000, totaling 290,000 in the past week, the most since of course mid-January, highlighting how Americans are applying for jobless aid last week in record numbers. Mortgage applications have dropped to their lowest in 22 years, as of course the price of some homes have actually gone down. Might mean a great deal for BlackRock, as a lot of financial experts are saying that this housing market has actually peaked. It's going to be going down from here as interest rates are expected to go up, with some financial experts predicting a total financial crash coming this September. In the United States, 9 out of 10 Americans are saying that inflation has forced them to, quote, bargain hunt for groceries, with 77% of Americans reporting that they are cutting back on restaurant and entertainment since they are seen as expensive luxuries that they can no longer afford. This is according to the latest Washington Post SCAR school poll, highlighting how Americans are forced to change their financial habits because of the sequestering, because of their ability to have a normal life. And as the price of almost everything goes up and is expected to go up even higher from here, along with, of course, the energy prices, what's this administration dangling as a distraction for you? Well, a lot of issues. Reproductive rights issues, self-defense issues, issues surrounding the events on January 6th, which we're going to be seeing some corporate media productions of in just a few moments from now, as of course these events are the perfect emotional triggers that, of course, divide and conquer the population and divert your eyes from the true reality of destruction that is being laid right in front of you for the personal benefit of the ruling elites. We're in trouble. A lot of financial trouble. We talk about that more concisely on LukeUncensored.com, where we try to give you the best information and advice centered to, of course, helping you out as an individual make the right decisions for yourself during these very turbulent, crazy times. We're dealing with a lot of insanity. We try to make sense of that insanity, as well as talk about the issues that we cannot talk about on this particular broadcast, since, of course, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of hot-button topics that we just simply can't talk about here on this platform. We talk about it all extensively on LukeUncensored.com. You get that. Videos almost every single day. A masterclass, 3 of them actually. A forum, exclusive merchandise at a very reduced rate. And in today's video, we are going to be giving you an exclusive, highly edited report from the events this past weekend from an elitist confab meeting that we can't even mention by name here on this particular broadcast. Yes, we're going to be documenting and showing you more never before seen footage from this absolute crazy coverage of on-the-ground reporting that we just did in Washington, D.C. a couple days ago with, of course, Josh Friedman, a reporter for We Are Change that also, by the way, provided exclusive on-the-ground reports inside of Ukraine a couple days ago for you. That report of what We Are Change, as an independent media organization, of what specifically Josh Friedman saw as an independent journalist in Ukraine, is out right now, only exclusively for members of LukeUncensored.com. This is the type of stuff we offer you on our own platform. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now to help and grow independent media. Now, if you remember, if you were watching this broadcast a long time ago, let's just say even 10 years ago, we were warning about the ever-brewing divide and conquer agenda here in the United States that, of course, was pushed on by a lot of powerful people in order to have people fight each other rather than, of course, deal with the true source of their problems. I think it's fair to say that we have reached a new all-time level of this divide and conquer agenda, especially with the divisiveness and dangerous political rhetoric that has been happening within the last few weeks, especially when it comes to the latest developments in the Supreme Court. As of course, yesterday, we detailed to you how a lunatic from California brought a number of weapons, burglary tools, and a plan to take out one of the Supreme Court justices because of the leaked decision surrounding women's health. A crazy story that deserves a lot more attention than it's getting. But right after that news was released, we saw crazy photos of individuals who thought it would be the right time to protest outside of this Supreme Court justice's home. Yes, after a failed assassination attempt, there were some people in the political arena that thought this was the perfect opportune time to scream political slogans outside of his family's home. That to me is just extremely bad optics, but also absolutely immoral. This family just had an attempt on their lives. This is after there was a deliberate release of this Supreme Court justice's decision on a hot button issue. This after their addresses were leaked on the internet. This after the media was excusing protests at their houses. And now there was an attempt on one of these Supreme Court justices' life. And this is the time where people want to go outside of his home and continue to protest, which is a violation of federal law, which, again, highlights the severity of the polarization that's happening right now, that according to many people, there's no going back from. By the way, the man who planned to take out the Supreme Court justice was just charged with attempted murder. We're also finding out that there are efforts to block more funding for the security of the Supreme Court justices and for the media to excuse and to promote protest at these individuals' lives, trying to, of course, extort and manipulate a more favorable decision for their own personal causes. I think it's fair to say has reached a new absolute level of insanity. Now, at this particular moment, I think it's fair to ask, how did we get here? What got us here? As of course, this political divide is being felt on the left and right. According to U.S. Senator Rand Paul, he blames Democrats and the media for, quote, ginning up violent, crazy people. U.S. Senator Rand Paul was also targeted on a number of occasions with violent individuals, including one at a baseball game where individuals are being shot. Now, in understanding this mess, we also have to understand that there's a lot of people using this violence and response to this violence for political power. A lot of people who are emotionally involved here. But personally, if I could put my finger on it, I would have to talk about the big tech social media algorithms that have been deciding what has been inside of our heads for the last few years. They have been deciding more and more of that as, of course, we have moved to carefully curated algorithms, when previously we had the ability to see all the information out there that, of course, was available to us. Now we see what big tech social media wants us to see, and in many times, whether this was done deliberately or just as an incentive to make money, big tech social media found that if people hear their political voices regurgitated back to them, their opinions, their perspectives elevated rather than questioned, they got more of a favorable response. And whether they did this to keep people on their platform or as a way to help push this larger divide and conquer agenda, I don't think it matters, but I think there is something to say about the larger political divide and polarization that has been happening within the last few years, correlated with the onset of use of big tech social media. If we look at it, just a few years ago, there was more people in the middle. There was more moderates. There was more people willing to be able to see the perspective inside from the other political stance. Now, we see the hyperpolarization of people moving to the polar opposites of that and seeing each other as enemies more and more. Along with that, we also have a mental and physical health crisis decline here in the United States. I think the impact of mental health, especially over the last 2.5 years, where the government shut everything down, destroyed small businesses, locked people inside of their own homes, barricaded in school playgrounds, also had a tremendous negative effect on the mental health of children, on parents, on pretty much everyone. With the destruction of people's mental health, you of course have the more likelihood of violent outcomes. A lot of people say that the mental health crisis is exacerbated by the physical health crisis, and I would have to say that that partly should be true, especially if you look at the importance of gut health in relation to mental health. There's a big correlation there, and overall health has been declining and continuing to get worse as we have more of an overabundance of fake meat, vegetable and seed oils, GMO, high fructose, corn syrup, Bill Gates soy milk available for everyone, as of course Americans are eating on record less red meat, smoking less cigarettes than they ever were before. So what's responsible for this destruction of health? And with the destruction of health, we have the destruction of people's mental health. We have more likelihood of violence. Increase that with more poverty. Increase that with intelligence, IQ, going down. Increase that with younger people having less successful, healthy relationships. You are literally creating an entire recipe for disaster, bringing up a new culture of people that, in my opinion, are going to be more violent than ever. If you look at how people are radicalized, especially in the Middle East, all of those key components that are mentioned play a key integral role into that. When you look at the society the establishment is setting up for everyone, they are adding to all of those ingredients, and that's why I think it's fair to say that violence is only going to be more of a norm, since, of course, the ingredients that are causing it, the fuel that is causing it, is being added on by mainline society and the poor choices that individuals make for themselves. This is why, again, we've been talking about this on LukeUncensored.com, talking about the importance of individuals leaving big cities, which also has an increase of children's IQ when that particularly happens, along with their overall health, mental and physical health. But more importantly, the reason I've been preaching about people leaving big cities just like I did, I left New York City, I'm very happy that I did, is because this ever so increasing amount of violence is becoming more unavoidable, and of course the hotspots of it are when people are living on top of each other in major democratic cities. And I think it's fair to say that without being able to have a proper, rational discussion about these issues, they're not going to go away. They're going to be made a lot worse. The political divide is also going to get a lot worse, as the FBI just arrested a GOP Michigan candidate for governor there. As ever so, the intelligence agencies of the United States are acting like the private Gestapo of the state, being extremely politically divisive, and with media institutions, political institutions, intelligence institutions becoming more politically involved rather than nonpartisan. Expect more problems ahead. I think it's very fair to say that. Keep your eyes open, be safe, be smart, and one of the things you can do is you can make sure that you're not a part of the problem, or you could just make sure you avoid the problems as best as you can. That's some of the advice that we've been preaching. That's some of the perspectives that we are coming from. If you think we're wrong in any way, shape, or form, let us know why in the comment section below. But if you thought this message was important, was bringing some kind of rational sense to the larger destruction of our society, share this video with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever. We have an exclusive report coming your way right now, available to all members of LukeUncensored.com. See you guys there. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively participating and sharing this video. This is, again, why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.